Okay, Madeline, if you can hear me, you should be able to share your screen now.
Okay, let me just try something
I mean,
here.
he even said in that talk that he was willing to come to the.
No, go ahead. Yeah, we'll wait for you.
And I think I used their model language to write the thing that, to the legislature. I wrote something to the legislature and we all ended up.
I know.
All over the place, so if I seem like a hot mess,
Yeah, no, they're good.
just laugh at me.
We all are in our own way.
Okay.
Hi. We're almost there, everybody.
So Tim can see us
Trying to
on
remember.
his screen, because I went to watching
He can see
This,
the broad picture, okay.
yeah.
We didn't vote on the PRC.
I can see you, Bill.
There's the close-up.
Okay.
I was trying to think if we voted on it.
There we go.
Yeah,
NSA.
you shaved today. Good. You shaved.
They all
All right.
been on
Very good, Madeline.
meeting after Zoom.
Now we just gotta wait for Bob to come back, and we will be good to go. Guess I'll get a.
Too bad.
ready? Good evening. I would like to start our July 7th Board of Supervisors meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the overview of the new meeting protocols. EJ?
Thank you. So welcome to our first hybrid meeting for Schuylkill Township. This is our first attempt using Zoom webinar for the hybrid meeting format. The meeting is being recorded in the room here, just like all of our meetings were recorded prior to the pandemic. So we have the meeting recording that will be posted online afterward. For anyone attending on Zoom, you can submit questions or comments using the Q&A feature on Zoom. So it's a little different than the past meetings with GoToWebinar. Please do not use the chat. Please use the Q&A. It'll just be easier for us to monitor only one of those features as opposed to both. You do not need to raise your hand. We will be monitoring the Q&A. As always, please include your name and address in any questions or comments, and we will read them at the appropriate time. For anyone attending in person, same as it was before, make sure you step up to the microphone so that the recording picks you up, name and address, and we'll accept your comments. Masks are optional for the meeting. We have provided masks for anyone who wishes to wear one. We encourage everyone to continue following all the CDC guidance with regard to mask wearing. And I just remind everyone sitting at the dais to make sure you're speaking into the microphone so the recording picks you up.
Okay, thank you, EJ. I also want to remind the public that we did attend an executive session starting at 6 o'clock this evening where we discussed property acquisition, personnel issues, and potential litigation. And there was a quorum of the Board of Supervisors at the June 29th Open Space Commission meeting. So there was a quorum during their executive session as well. Moving on, I want to, the acceptance of the minutes of the Board of Supervisors, June 2nd, 2021 business meeting. No work session was held. And acceptance of reports, all departmental, committee, commission, and council reports as posted and received by the Board of Supervisors for the month of June 2021. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, Tim. We heard you. Okay. Treasurer's
Excellent.
report.
Thank you, Martha.
Treasurer's report and payment of bills for the period ending June 30th, 2021. Consideration of acceptance of the treasurer's report and approval to pay the bills. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second? Second. Okay, EJ, would you like to give your report?
Sure. As of June 30th, the general fund balance for 2021 was $4,698,617, a decrease of about $72,500 from the end of May. We're currently running a general fund surplus for this year's budget through the end of June of about $1.7 million, which is not unusual for this time of year. We do expect to see that decrease basically from now towards the end of the year. We are up from the same point at the end of June last year. The only other fund that saw a decrease was the capital roads, which we're using for all the highway road curbing pavement work that we're doing. But other than that, all other funds increased for the month of June. Our revenues for general fund, we brought in a little over 70% of our budgeted revenues for the year, and we've spent about 39% of our budgeted expenditures. And I've reviewed all the bills and would recommend payment of the bills.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any comments or questions? No? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. 2-minute reports, board liaisons. Bob, do you have a 2-minute report? Okay, Susan?
The Environmental Advisory Commission is going to be having a weed pull at the preserve either July 24th or the 31st from 8 to 10. So watch for the website or the new EAC Facebook page to see which date that's.
Can you speak a little closer to the microphone? Sorry.
Should I say it again?
No, you can continue.
So, and the EAC does have a new Facebook page, so check that out. It looks great.
Okay. Mark, do you have any 2-minute reports?
Yeah, the Clean Energy Alliance group that we're working with for the VPP grant, they put all the stuff on pen bid. They got a few interested contractors through pen bid, but only one submitted a bid, so the deadline was extended by a week, and we'll discuss that probably on Wednesday next week. They're gonna see if they can get some more bids for that. For the energy consultant. And for the PRPC, the Act 247 review for the comprehensive plan was completed. There were only a couple superficial changes, so that's been submitted through. And I think, did that make it onto this agenda for adoption, EJ?
For tonight?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
then we'll have to talk about it next month, but it's ready for municipal adoption.
Yeah, I think we have to have a hearing,
Yeah, I think,
which we can have the same night of. It doesn't have to be a separate date.
yeah, I couldn't remember which.
I think we have to schedule and advertise. I think Ed Thurkoff just emailed all the managers last week to
Yeah.
say that, please schedule a public hearing for adoption.
Okay, cool,
So,
thanks. Yeah, that's it.
I think we have 3 months. He said within the next 3 months to do that.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that's just like a goal.
Yeah.
To get all the municipalities done within 3 months.
Okay, I have nothing for a 2-minute report, so EJ.
I have a few things. Just a reminder that the Traffic Impact Fee Advisory Committee is meeting, is hosting the public hearing next week on 2 weeks from now, July 22nd, which is a Thursday, on the Land Use Assumptions Report. That will be here and will also be hybrid as well. So we will have a couple of the advisory committee members who had previous arrangements to be out of town, so they'll be attending remotely.
I'm sorry, what was that date again?
July 22nd, and it's either 7 or 7:30. I think it's 7, but it will be posted on the website, and it'll go out through Constant Contact. As far as an update on the American Rescue Plan funding that we're receiving from the federal government, we still have not received it. The state got an extension from the feds on the time frame within which they have to disperse it to all the municipalities. Our application was submitted several weeks ago. We didn't get any comments back that it needed to be amended. So the assumption is that our application was approved and we're just waiting for everything to be processed and the money to be disseminated to the municipalities. Just a quick update on Paul Lehman Drive. I know we talked about it about a month ago. We've looked into some of the different grant programs that were discussed last month. They are still listed as closed on the state website. So the state's budget was just passed last week, I think, Russ, is that right? So they're slowly starting to update some of the funding streams that had been put on hold over the last year and a half. So it doesn't mean that those grant programs aren't going to be reopened, they just haven't been yet. So we're hoping to have a clearer picture by next month, and Russ and his team also anticipate having an updated design and cost estimate per last month's discussion. So we will probably have that on the August agenda for discussion. Anything to add?
No, we'll have two options for the board to review, a couple of different phasing options based upon a site meeting we had, and then we'll have the cost estimates to go with that. So you'll have the ability to look at the options, know the cost, make a choice.
Great.
And then the only other one that I had included in my manager's report to the board, a situation kind of arose unexpectedly in the course of our road department doing some drainage work over at the intersection of Cleona Avenue and Canalcan Drive, which is kind of right on the border of Phoenixville Borough. Right at that intersection, there's like a small beauty island. It's a curb that someone's planted flowers and there's grasses and stuff in there. It apparently exacerbates some of the existing drainage issues over there and has, from what we've heard from the residents, I don't know if Rick or Tom can attest to this, that there's been access issues with heavy trucks or emergency vehicles turning the corner because of the island, and one of the residents actually submitted a request for us to remove the island. I don't know if you guys know anything about that.
We have not been contacted.
Okay.
Have you guys ever had any problems getting your fire trucks through there?
Not to my knowledge.
So we're looking into how easy it would be to potentially remove that island. I've already checked with Phoenixville Borough. They don't have anything to do with it. They don't really care at all. We would definitely want to contact the adjacent property owners because it looks like someone has been maintaining it and possibly even planting flowers and kind of beautifying it. So we would want to make sure that we didn't just go in there and rip it out without at least Cleona and Canalcan.
You're saying it's not there to prevent a turn, or if there's any?
It's really just aesthetic, yeah.
So it's not there for like traffic calming or?
Well, I would imagine initially that was the idea, but I don't think that that's an area that gets a lot of traffic, because if you turn down Canalcan, it dead ends, doesn't it, in the borough? Yeah, so it's not a through street or anything like that. So if it's okay with the board, I'd like to just have the engineer take a look at it and just confirm that there would be no, unexpected adverse impacts, and then we could report back next month. And I think, Bill, you said that the board,
They have authority to do it, it's their road, it's your road, you own it.
yeah, so we'll report back next month.
Do we need to vote to have the engineer look at that? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Cool.
Unless anyone really doesn't want us to look into it, but it doesn't sound like it.
You tell us again, EJ, where it is? We're trying to look on the street.
This is where Cleona turned into Canalcan.
It's right at the intersection. It's on Canalcan. I guess it's within the Canalcan right away. So we'll look into it and we'll report back next month.
And we do think it's a water problem. We do agree with the residents who are complaining about the water.
Well, Nick said it would help with the drainage. I think the complaints that we got were more for, someone said that there was a fire several years ago in a emergency vehicle had a difficult time making the turn. But it's possible it could have been a borough. I mean, the fire was in the borough. They have to drive through the township to get to it. It's one of those weird streets. Yeah,
It's that.
it's that. So that's all. I don't need any action
Okay.
tonight. Just kind of wanted to update you all.
Anything else, EJ?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Old business,
Oh.
discussion. Oh, I'm sorry, what's the matter,
I
Mark?
completely forgot. Can you get in touch with Ed Thurkoff? The PRPC was asking about the possibility of hybrid meetings once they come back into building and how much that would cost. That's it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Old business discussion, the COVID pandemic public meeting protocols and the municipal building reopening. I'm assuming you want to discuss that, EJ?
Unless anyone else does.
You're welcome to hit it.
So the building is open to the public during normal business hours now. The front door remains locked. We have a new intercom access system, so people just come and ring the doorbell. We're able to interact with them and then buzz them into the building. We are still encouraging everyone to conduct business remotely or electronically to the extent possible. And we're also encouraging visitors to make appointments whenever possible. And we are at this time still, during normal business hours, we are requiring masks for visitors into the building. As far as the COVID updates, Chester County is pretty much not only leading the state, but I think still leading the country in terms of vaccinated percentage of population. And I think as of last week, the percent positivity rate for the county dipped down below 1% for the first time since the pandemic began. So Chester County is really doing a great job.
That's awesome. Okay, thank you. Consideration of a motion to rescind resolution number 2020-15, a resolution adopted by the Emergency Declaration Officer, the Township Manager, and the Board of Supervisors on March 23rd, 2020, proclaiming the existence of a disaster emergency in the township is hereby rescinded in its entirety. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any comments or questions? Any comments or questions from the public? I forgot to ask that before. My apologies. Do you have any comments or questions from the public?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Consideration of approval of the proposal from Red Tail Restoration and Land Management LLC to provide invasive plant management as well as expertise and advice in support of general conservation efforts in the township's municipal parks for the period July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022 at the hourly rates specified in the proposal. Further, any consulting or field work to be performed by Red Tail Restoration shall be approved in advance by the township manager. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Any comments or questions from the board? Any comments or questions from anyone in the room? Norm, come on up to the microphone. We have to get you on recording here.
Norman Bus, resident, 630 Country Club Road. As I read the motion that you're working on applies only to the township parks and parklands. Okay. As a landowner, I was concerned that these folks would be branching out and
Oh,
telling me
no,
what I
no, 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 no. That would be a boatload of money, and we don't have a boatload of money.
Nope. I think this max is at 250 hours annually, and that would not include at all residential anything, no.
Thanks for the question, Norm. EJ, do we have any other public comment?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. The Green Light Go Grant update.
That's all there is on that page.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. So the update on this is good news. Very recently, just within the last couple weeks, as part of the state passing this year's budget, funding was restored for the Green Light Grant Go program, and the projects that were put on hold at the beginning of the pandemic were given priority. And I received notice last week that not only was funding restored for our project, but that we don't have to reapply for the funding, so.
Oh, that is good news.
So this is for this is the 2017 grant year, which means we received the award letter in 2018. We've been going through the design in 2019, and then it was put on hold in 2020. This is for the traffic signal interconnection synchronization project at, let me get my bearings here, Valley Park and South Whitehorse and Pothouse Road. So I anticipate receiving a notice to proceed from PennDOT, a formal notice to proceed with an updated contract, which, from what I understand, the only thing that's going to be changing is just the dates for the term of the contract, because obviously it was delayed, but everything else should be the same, and then we will be able to move forward with that.
So can you remind me where we are in that process? Are we ready for putting bids out, or are we still doing
We're very
engineering?
close.
Okay.
We're still doing engineering. This is a Gilmore Associates project. We're still in the engineering phase. As you all know, frequently happens with PennDOT. There's a lot of changeover in personnel and consultants and people who review, so we had kind of satisfied all the comments, and there had really been no movement on it at all for the last year, but now that the project's being picked up again, a different person from PennDOT took a look at it and offered some additional comments, but I think we're very close to having the final approval from PennDOT, which means we can go out to bid. And that process would all come back to the board to advertise the bids, award the bids, obviously, and move forward. So
Good.
we'll probably have more updates next month.
Great, that's good news. Does anyone have any comments or questions on that? Anyone from the public? Any comments or questions from anyone online? Okay.
I would just add as a reminder, we had a second Green Light Go grant as well from the 2018 grant round that was awarded in 2019. That one was canceled completely. And that was for the project at Valley Park Road and Country Club, and then up at Country Club 23 in Ferry Lane. In the event that a new round of funding becomes available and we want to revisit that project, that would require a new application.
Okay.
All right, new business, consideration of authorization to hire one part-time patrol officer to fill a vacancy in the Schuylkill Township Police Department. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Any comments or questions from the public in the room? Any comments or questions from the public online?
No.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Open Space Commission, consideration of the resignation of Ms. Berith Grafe from the Schuylkill Township Open Space Commission. I will reluctantly make this motion.
No.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the board?
You take it first, sir.
I'll just say that,
I would just like to offer thanks to Berith for her time on the Open Space Commission. She's been an integral member, and she will be missed.
Yes, she will be. She will be definitely missed.
I'll second that. You said it better than I could, Tim, so yeah, she worked very hard.
Yes.
Made massive contributions in public, behind the scenes, working on contracts, a lot of detailed work that nobody ever sees, but she really helped us get things done.
And just for the public's knowledge, she didn't leave out of being anything wrong. She moved out of the township. So there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Consideration of the appointment of Ms. Kathy Lex, Township resident, to an unexpired term as an alternate member of the Schuylkill Township Open Space Commission, said term to expire on December 31st, 2021. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any comments or
Second.
questions from the board? Any comments or questions from the board? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Consideration of approval for an appraisal on the property known as Parcel H for an amount not to exceed $10,000. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Any comments or questions from anyone in the room? Norm, come on up. Sorry.
Reintroduce myself, Norman Bus, 63 Country Club Road. My question is, what is parcel H? And that leads into the next item. There's another parcel mentioned that I'm at a loss.
Okay, no, that's fine. Until we have a public hearing, we do keep the property owners and the names of the properties private until it.
Bill, looks like you want to say something.
It's not what we want to do, it's required by law to keep it private.
Yeah.
Oh, it's required by law, okay. So that's why we refer to them as alphabet boys until we're allowed to make it public.
But stay tuned.
No clue as to where it is.
No.
Somewhere in the township, Norm, we're not putting easements or purchasing property outside the township.
We don't want to encourage bidding wars or
Yeah.
competition or all kinds of mischief if the public knows what we're looking at. So it's set up for a good purpose.
Yeah.
But if all goes well, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any comments online?
No.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Consideration of approval to issue the conditional offer for the property known as Parcel O and approval of due diligence expenditures on said offer, such expenditures not to exceed $15,000. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Can one of you second that?
You can have it.
Okay. We're so used to it online.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Are there any comments or questions from the board? No? Any comments or questions from anyone in the room? Any comments or questions from anyone online, EJ?
Yes. This is Dorothy Bedford. With all due respect to the privacy issue, is it possible to ask which watershed or watersheds Parcel O is located?
No, they
no.
are located in the property, Dorothy, sorry. Or, I'm sorry, they're located in the township. That's all we're allowed to say. Sorry.
Is anything not in the Pickering watershed in the township?
Yes, we do have multiple water.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have
I also
multiple
can't
watersheds.
answer this question because I don't actually know the
Yeah.
answer to the question, but there are multiple watersheds in the
We have
township.
Valley Creek watershed, we have the Pickering, and the Schuylkill.
French Creek as well.
And French Creek.
A small,
Yep.
small
There's a
portion of
small
French.
portion.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the public?
No.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Consideration of the appointment of Mr. Thomas Gresco, Township resident, to an unexpired term as an alternate member of the Schuylkill Township Planning Commission. Said term to expire December 31st, 2021. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Do we have any public comment on this?
No.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Consideration of approval of the June 7th, 2021 Phoenix Media Group Municipal Meeting Services proposal for the production of 12 Schuylkill Township Board of Supervisors meetings in a hybrid format, in person and virtual, for a contracted cost of $5,940 annually and a $695 annually to post the recorded meetings on municipalmeeting.com. I'll make that motion. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, do we have any comments from anyone in the room? Any comments from anyone online?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Consideration of authorization to expend municipal complex funds for the purchase and installation of a new gate for the Schuylkill Township Municipal Garage Complex for a not-to-exceed amount of $13,000. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second that.
Any comments or questions from the board? I'm assuming it's broken.
Yes. Yes.
And outdated, I understand.
It's very outdated, yeah.
I read everything. I just wanted to put that out there for
Yeah,
the public.
and the repairs are becoming frequent and expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
$500-600 minimum every time we have to call
Yeah.
someone out,
Right.
and it's happening multiple times a year.
So,
Okay.
And we're looking at a cost closer to $10,000
Okay.
based on the quotes we got,
Yeah.
under 10,000.
Okay. I was just gonna ask, do we have to put that out for bid, but,
We do not.
okay.
It's below, we got 2 proposals, we solicited more, but, people weren't interested in giving us a proposal for
Yeah.
this, I guess.
yeah, all right.
Okay, any public comment from anyone in the room? Any public comment online?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Consideration of approval of the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation Cooperative Memorandum of Agreement for the Route 422 project. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second that.
Okay, seconded by Mark. I think you need to speak a
Yeah,
little
I need to
louder in
speak
your
up.
in the microphone.
I'm getting used to the
Sorry.
in-person thing, yeah.
It's okay, it's all right. Any comments or questions from the board? Any comment or questions from anyone in the public? Any, or in the room, I should say. EJ, is there anyone online?
Nope.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, consideration of approval for suburban archers to hunt within the township-owned Pickering Preserve during the 2021-2022 bow hunting season. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, do we have any comments or questions from the board?
I just wanted to make a comment that I'm gonna vote no for this, not so much because I have a problem with the hunters, but because I think we're working really hard on this preserve to have people go into it. We're planting a lot of different flowers. We're trying to encourage people to use the trails there. And so I just think, and we only took 2 does last year, so I think that continuing hunting is inconsistent with our, our future plans for that property. It's also kind of a small property. It's not 100 acres in the middle of the woods, and so I just think that at this point, I feel like we're at a point where we should not be continuing that practice.
I'll second that motion that with what we have going on there right now, the size of the property, and we're encouraging people to get down there with the school next door. I would lean toward taking a year off and then reevaluating it next year.
That's fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Any comments or questions from anyone in the room? Anyone, any comments or questions from anyone online, EJ?
I do have a question on the previous agenda item, which came in a little late, but I'll address it after you're done with the vote on
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So the motion was made for consideration of approval for suburban archers to hunt within the township-owned Pickering Preserve during the 2021-22 bow hunting season. There was a motion, and it was seconded. All those in favor? Those opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
Nay.
So what was it?
Everyone said no.
Everyone said no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the question for
Oh, yes.
the
previous
422 project?
Yes, this came from Ellen Jansen. Just want to know what the Route 422 project is. Would any of you like to answer that? So this, Ms. Jansen, this was actually approved at last month's meeting. This is an agreement with PennDOT as part of their traffic monitoring for the Route 422 corridor. They are installing kind of traffic counting systems and traffic monitoring systems on major intersections in municipalities that border or are near the Route 422 corridor. So this agreement only applies to the intersection of Route 23 and Paulings Road. And like I said, this was actually approved last month already, but then after we signed it and sent it to PennDOT, they said, oh, we actually made some formatting changes, nothing substantive at all, but asked for not only another vote to approve it with the formatting changes, but in addition to that, a resolution that gives me the authority to sign it. So that's a couple spots down on the agenda. So that this is not, it's not a township project, it's a PennDOT project, but they just need our approval because the intersection they want to mount their equipment on is in the township.
Thank you, EJ. Resolutions and ordinances. Consideration of resolution number 2021-11, authorizing the township manager to sign the PennDOT 16738 Cooperative Memorandum of Agreement on behalf of the Schuylkill Township Board of Supervisors. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Any public comment? EJ, do you have any public comment there?
We do not.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Tim, you're muted.
Tim, you're muted.
Sorry about that. A belated aye.
Okay, thank you. Consideration of advertisement of ordinance number 2021-03, amending Chapter 27 of the Historical Commission, Section 27-3.A, parentheses 3, membership terms. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Any comments or questions from the public? EJ, do we have anyone online?
Nope.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oops. Additional business, the Valley Park ribbon cutting ceremony. The reason why I asked EJ to put this on the agenda is we have had several committees and commissions and members of the public wondering when we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony. I know the board was sent an email from EJ to me, and basically he's asking that we do this in the summer, or next spring. He's got a lot going on his plate, and I think it'll give the Historical Commission some time to do some of the things that they want to do. I think it'll give the EAC some time to do some things that they want to do. But I just wanted to be able to give the public and our committee members the idea of I don't want to say exactly when, as far as the date is concerned, we could choose that later on in the year. But I just wanted to let everybody know that I don't think that this year is good for that. I don't think it's COVID. I just think it's all the stuff that's happening in the township and happening with our parks. So that's it. So the invitation to the Daughters of American Revolution event at the Freedoms Foundation. Who wants to talk about this?
Madeline, can you please scroll? Thank you. We were on the wrong page on the agenda. I can. No, you were right on the screen. Sorry.
Okay.
We got a comment about the being on page 2 when we were actually on page 3.
Oh, okay.
I can take this if
Sure.
you would like. So a representative from the Valley Forge chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution reached out to me a little over a month ago, and then followed up with an email. They're hosting a 3-day event at Freedoms Foundation August 13th, 14th, and 15th to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And they would like to honor a representative of Schuylkill Township as part of the weekend's festivities, and so they extended a formal invitation to the township to send a representative to attend. It doesn't have to be one of those specific days. They can work out the detail with whoever it is and whatever their availability is. But I thought that it would be appropriate for one of the supervisors to attend. I think it's gonna be open to the public as well, so like, it's not like all of you can attend, but I think they specifically want one representative. I think they're gonna do a little ceremony and recognize some important people. And you five made the list.
Do we have to talk?
I have no idea.
Or are they asking for all of us, or just we want to pick?
I think they want a designated representative, yeah.
And what date specifically?
The 13th, 14th, or 15th.
Oh, any of those three?
Any of those three, correct.
I
Yeah,
might be away, so.
I'm around it, yeah.
I have service on the 14th and I'm in Boston on the 13th.
As long as I don't have to talk.
I'm around as well.
If we have to talk, I'll be happy to do it.
Okay.
All right.
I like
If we have to talk, Mark can do it, but otherwise, I can just show up and
That's
just be
fine.
there.
All right. Well,
We'll show up together, we'll be each other's
I'll
date.
communicate that someone will be attending, and
Okay.
I will leave it up to
Yeah.
the five of you to let me know who that's gonna be. How's that sound?
Okay.
It'll be one of the
Great.
two of us,
Thanks.
but like I said, as long as I don't have to talk, because I do enough of that at these meetings. Okay, the Act 205 pension reports.
Just a quick report on this. This is our actuarial valuation of the two township pension funds. Happens every other year. We just received them. They indicate that both funds are in very strong shape. We saw significant actuarial gains in both the non-uniform and police pension funds over the last 2 years. And I've provided a summary and a snapshot to the supervisors, as well as the full reports. But just for minutes for the official record, I wanted to state on the record that those every other year reports have been received. That's it.
Are we fully funded, EJ?
Yes, currently both plans are overfunded.
Overfunded.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Excellent, thank you.
As well, by currently, these are as of end of 2020, so as of end of 2020. But if you've been following.
Market's
the
only gone up
market-
since then, so we're good.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything else for additional business? Okay, I do have a few announcements here. Even though all state COVID-19 mitigation measures, except wearing a mask in public, were lifted on Monday, is that supposed to be May 31st?
Oh, no, you can skip that one.
Oh, I can
That's
skip
a
that one,
typo.
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Township residents looking for testing and/or vaccine information should visit the Chester County Coronavirus COVID-19 site. All township boards, committees, and commissions have resumed in-person meetings at the Township Hall. At this time, the Schuylkill Township administrative offices are open with limited access to the public. Building permit applications may continue to be submitted electronically via U.S. mail or by drop-off to the delivery bin at the Township building. The Township's Historical Commission has openings for members. Township residents interested in serving should send a letter and a resume to the Township Manager at twpmgr@schuylkilltwp.org. July 10th, 2021, East Pikeland Township and Schuylkill Township will host an e-waste recycling event at the Kimberton Fire Company. The event is from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, open to East Pikeland and Schuylkill Township residents only. Visit the Township website for more information. On July 22nd, 2021, the Schuylkill Township Impact Fee Advisory Committee will hold a public hearing to solicit public comments concerning the proposed land use assumptions report. The hearing will be at approximately 7 p.m. as an in-person meeting at the Township Hall, 111 Valley Park Road, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, and also remotely via Zoom. Information on how to attend virtually will be available on the Schuylkill Township website. And I do have a note on here to talk about the EAC's new Facebook page, but Susan did that earlier. So does anyone have any other announcements? EJ, do we have any, I'm sorry, any member of the public in the room have any public comment? Now, EJ, do we have any public comment online?
We do. Dorothy Bedford, considering that Schuylkill Township, then Charlestown Township, had distinguished service members, sending a rep is important. I think this is referring to
Yep.
the Daughters of the American Revolution. And then she referenced the Anderson family, Moore family, et cetera. So we will definitely have a rep there.
Great.
Any other public comment?
That is it.
Okay. Pending, no discussion, the Regional Planning Comprehensive Plan update, which you discussed earlier. Snow ordinance?
Yeah, these are just pending. This is just a heads up. These are coming up,
Okay.
upcoming meetings. Yeah.
And our sign ordinance?
Mhm.
And are we going to have a workshop meeting this month? Do we have anything on the agenda?
These things would be on the agenda, but they're not urgent. The workshop meeting's scheduled for next week, so it's just because of the way the dates fell, with the first being on a Thursday, it's a quick turnaround. So I would suggest waiting till August, but that's up to you
Okay, so
guys.
we will not have a July workshop meeting. Woo-hoo.
Works for me.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other, any other business before I make a motion to adjourn?
Yes, can you just announce that we're going to have another executive session?
Yeah.
after the
Oh,
meeting?
yes. We did not have enough time to finish everything that we needed to discuss at our executive session before our meeting, so we will be having an executive session after this meeting. So I will make the motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
First time I've done this. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Keep in mind, everybody, that the mics are still on. Just
I'll wait for your call, EJ. Thank you.